said, "Judge, I want out. And I can tell you why."
Blake Lively has been betrayed once again, and this time, the heartbreak comes from her own husband, Ryan Reynolds. Once seen as the picture-perfect, supportive partner, Ryan is now revealing Blake's darkest secrets. He wants to distance himself from the scandal, showing the world that he's no hero, just another self-serving narcissist.
Wait a minute. They're married. What's the benefit of this? Like, why does he want to get out personally from a lawsuit when all of his assets are 50% hers?
Ryan Reynolds, yes, Mr. Deadpool himself, has quietly stepped away from the chaos he and his PR-obsessed wife helped create. And no, this isn't about creative differences or some peaceful conscious uncoupling. Ryan is reportedly done with Blake's full-blown legal mess and has finally decided he's not sinking with the ship. Shocking? Not really. I mean, if your spouse was handing out subpoenas like party invites, wouldn't you jump ship too?
Ryan Reynolds and his attorney filed a motion to dismiss, asking the judge to let him out of the lawsuit, the counterclaim that Justin Baldoni has filed against Reynolds' wife, Blake Lively.
Here's what went down. Ryan Reynolds has reportedly started distancing himself from Blake Lively after watching her PR empire crumble like a soggy house of cards. Sources close to Ryan claim he's been telling people behind closed doors, "I didn't sign up for felonies and subpoenas." And honestly, fair point. He thought he was marrying a fashion icon, not stepping into a legal minefield. What makes it even juicier? Leaked legal documents suggest Ryan knew about Blake and her BFF Stephanie Jones bending the rules, especially when it came to the subpoena that got them access to Jennifer Abel's phone data.
Ryan Reynolds is a smart businessman, and by filing this motion to dismiss, Ryan Reynolds has shown us just how smart he is. If he can get himself out of the lawsuit, any of their marital assets, or any assets that are exclusively in his name.
Your wife is secretly using a sham lawsuit to dig through someone's private phone. And instead of saying, "Babe, maybe don't do that," you just quietly step away like you're in a Netflix documentary. Classic Ryan. But apparently, even he has limits. Once Blake's legal team started playing games with Taylor Swift, yes, Taylor freaking Swift, Ryan allegedly dipped. He reportedly withdrew from Blake's legal planning group entirely after hearing about the blackmail threat aimed at Taylor. "Support me at the Super Bowl, or I'll leak 10 years of your texts." Really, Blake? That's your idea of friendship? I guess when you can't act, direct, or produce, all that's left is emotional terrorism. But the real kicker? Watching Blake Lively spiral like a Taika influencer during a botched brand deal. This isn't just a random fallout. She's been bleeding allies like a cursed reality show villain. Cara Delevingne? Gone. Gigi Hadid? Ghosted. Even Ryan? Whispering to insiders that he's done cleaning up Blake's dragon energy. You know it's serious when Ryan Reynolds, the human meme, starts distancing himself to avoid legal exposure. And this is just the beginning. Let's talk about the heart of the disaster, the Vans sham scheme. How original, Blake. In April 2024, she and Ryan filed a lawsuit through their company, Jansen Incorporated. But get this, they didn't actually sue anyone. A lawsuit with no defendant. Totally normal, right? Something innocent people do every day. But it gets worse. This fake lawsuit was then used as a cover to issue a subpoena for Jennifer Abel's phone records. And no, they didn't notify Jennifer, Justin Baldoni, or Wayfair. Because why follow basic legal protocol when you can bend the system and still show up to court wearing Chanel? Legal analysts have already called it what it is, textbook abuse of process. We're talking potential violations of the Federal Wiretapping Act, the Stored Communications Act, and the Electronic Records Act. These aren't just rules, these are laws. Serious ones. And guess who allegedly bailed? Ryan. After the scandal exploded, Ryan Reynolds did what any PR-savvy survivalist would do. He packed his metaphorical bags and began quietly backing away. The second it became clear that Blake Lively's legal antics might drag them both into federal violations, Ryan hit the eject button. Some reports even claim he threatened to testify if forced. Just imagine the scene, Ryan Reynolds on the witness stand. "Yeah, I love Mint Mobile. No, I didn't know my wife was impersonating a law firm." Honestly, who could blame him? When your partner's legal strategy includes fake lawsuits and sneaky subpoenas, your options are, run. Start prepping for federal prison. Ryan chose self-preservation over Blake's obsession with control. But Blake wasn't acting alone. Enter her partner in chaos, Stephanie Jones. Once hailed as a PR mastermind, Stephanie has officially crossed over into full-blown liability status. Remember Tom Brady? Yeah, the guy with a $375 million broadcasting deal with Fox. Turns out he fired Stephanie Jones after finding out she handed over confidential phone data to Blake. And before anyone says allegedly, let's be clear, people inside Brady's circle confirmed the split. That's a $25 million a year relationship, gone. But wait, it gets worse. In just a few months, 8 major clients dropped Stephanie's firm, Jones Works. The Rock, Jeff Bezos, Chris Hemsworth, Ocean Spray, yes. Even a cranberry juice brand wanted nothing to do with this disaster. When you're getting dropped by the Rock and Juice, you know you've hit rock bottom. And here's where Ryan allegedly drew the line again. Sources say he discovered Stephanie wasn't just helping Blake. She was leading the shady smear campaigns against Justin Baldoni and Melissa Nathan. Not just a publicist, a power-hungry high school mean girl with a LinkedIn profile. Business Insider didn't hold back either. They painted Jones Works as a toxic pit where staff burnt out, clients were manipulated, and turnover was so high you'd think it was a fast food joint, not a celebrity PR firm. So let's recap what Ryan saw unraveling around him. A wife filing lawsuits against no one just to subpoena enemies' phones. A publicist leaking private data and losing her entire client base in 6 months. A blackmail-level legal threat against Taylor Swift, the most beloved pop star alive, and a mountain of potential federal violations ticking away like a time bomb. Ryan didn't just walk away. He ran. Let's talk about their marriage. Can you really blame Ryan Reynolds for trying to escape? But here's the twist, he's not innocent either. For years, he's been knee-deep in Blake's mess, smiling on red carpets, cracking Deadpool jokes, and selling the illusion of Hollywood's dream couple. The only reason he's running now? Because the feds might be circling. If that Taylor Swift blackmail threat hadn't happened, do you really think he'd be gone? Of course not. He'd be filming another corny PR taika while Blake's legal team served someone else a fake subpoena. So no, Ryan doesn't get a gold star. But it is kind of hilarious to watch Mr. Sarcastic finally taste real-life consequences. Maybe next time, don't marry someone who thinks subpoenas are a substitute for talent. And maybe don't go radio silent when your name is literally on the lawsuit, Ryan. Very on brand. Now, let's talk about the moment that turned this scandal nuclear. Blake Lively allegedly tried to blackmail Taylor Swift. Yes, Taylor. Freaking Swift. According to insider reports, Blake's legal team reached out with a friendly threat. Support me publicly, or we'll leak 10 years of your private text messages. Like this was some unhinged Real Housewives reunion episode. Can you even imagine the level of desperation it takes to weaponize a decade's worth of private conversations, just because you didn't get a Swift stamp of approval? It's not just embarrassing, it's villain origin story stuff. But here's where it backfired, spectacularly. Taylor didn't flinch. She refused to play along and let the threat boomerang right back into Bork's over-contoured lap. The best part, Taylor didn't even have to lift a finger. Her dad, Scott Swift, confirmed the threat directly to Wayfair's legal team, triggering a tidal wave of legal and media blowback. Because when you come for Taylor Swift, you're not just fighting her, you're fighting a battalion of lawyers, Swifties, and industry insiders who do not play around. This wasn't just a PR blunder. This was scorched earth, nuclear-level fallout. And who was behind it all? Blake Lively, the woman who apparently believes friendship equals hostage situation. So what happened next? A mass celebrity exodus. Cara Delevingne? Gone. Sophie Turner? Not even returning texts. Gigi Hadid? Out faster than Blake could say. It was a misunderstanding. These weren't quiet fades. They were purposeful, ice-cold cuts. Taylor's inner circle reportedly launched a full blackout, branding Blake a manipulator hiding behind friendship. And honestly, they weren't wrong. Blake used Taylor's name, their so-called bond, and years of trust as pawns in her legal circus, and then expected everyone to clap and smile while she burnt it all down. And through all this, Blake still had the audacity to play the victim. But sorry, Blake, you don't get to wear the halo and hold the flamethrower at the same time. And just when you thought it couldn't get darker, Blake turned her sights on Jennifer Abel. Now this one. Straight-up dystopian. Jennifer, a former employee, says she was ambushed, not called in, not formally met, ambushed by security at Jones Works. They posted a guard outside the conference room like she was some kind of threat, and then shoved legal documents in her face. Confused, under pressure, and just trying to hold it together, Jennifer signed the papers, just so she could get out. And what were they after? Her personal laptop and phone. Not a work device, her personal phone, containing medical records, bank access, family contacts, everything. Chapter 6, Blake's Masterclass in Delusion. The secret media war. Jennifer thought she was just signing some routine paperwork. Instead, she was ambushed like a suspect in a sting operation. Security posted outside the conference room. Legal docs were shoved in her face. All she could do was beg, "Please, you don't need my number. I've had it since high school." Stephanie Jones ignored her, ghosted her, and confiscated everything: laptop, phone, and identity. Within hours, Blake had a pristine package of Jennifer's iCloud data. Texts, emails, the whole lot, gift-wrapped like evidence in a crime drama. Ryan Reynolds reported reaction: sociopathic. For once, the man has a point. When your legal strategy is ambush signatures and digital smash and grabs, you haven't just crossed an ethical line, you've bulldozed it. Jennifer didn't just lose a phone. She lost autonomy, privacy, and dignity. Also, Blake could scapegoat someone and keep her glam squad on speed dial. If your only path to victory is forcing people to sign under duress, harvesting their data, and calling it justice, congratulations. You're not a misunderstood heroine, you're the villain in couture. When subpoenas fail, start a secret media war. Enter PR gremlin Leslie Sloan and Blake's sidekick, Stephanie Jones. Their playbook: feed dirt, not tips or spin, to Daily Mail reporters, aiming to torch Justin Baldoni and Melissa Nathan. Behind closed doors, coordinated character assassinations. Publicly, we're under attack. But the plan crashed. Journalists did their jobs. Blake's team retaliated. Subpoenas for private texts, voice memos, reporter notes, a full-scale attempt to strong-arm the press. One reporter fired back, filing a motion to quash under New York's SHIELD laws. Reminder: in a functioning democracy, celebrities don't get to rifle through a journalist's DMs just because their public image is in free fall. Guess who wanted none of this lunacy? Ryan Reynolds. Reportedly horrified. "We're not suing the Daily Mail like it's TMZ, that's suicide." He's right. You don't bite the media hand that's photoshopped your hash couple goals for a decade, especially when your wife is already on her 9th PR apology tour. The hypocrisy? Chef's kiss. Blake publicly champions press freedom and transparency, then privately subpoenas reporters like a jealous ex on a midnight scroll. She wants the halo and the flamethrower. You can't have both. At this point, every line has been crossed. So what exactly is Blake Lively still trying to protect? Her reputation? Too late. Her friendships? Already dead. Her marriage? Hanging by a thread. All she's done is expose herself, not as a misunderstood star, but as a petty, calculating manipulator who treats people, even her closest friends, like chess pieces. And when they refuse to play along, she threatens. She smears. She subpoenas. This was never about justice. It was about control. It was about fear. It was about Blake Lively doing whatever it takes to defend the brand she built out of smoke and mirrors, even if it meant torching every real relationship she ever had. And now, as the wreckage smolders, she's still standing in the ashes, still trying to spin the narrative, still playing the victim. But the truth's already out. The mask is off. Blake is now fighting a war with no army, no allies, and zero credibility. All that's left is the echo of her own lies, and even that's fading. Let's be honest, the only thing more fake than Blake Lively's British accent in interviews is the image of her perfect Hollywood life now unraveling in front of everyone. And the final nail in her painfully over-curated, over-filtered, hollow brand. It wasn't the press. It wasn't the subpoenas. It was her own husband, Ryan Reynolds. Yep, the king of sarcasm himself has finally had enough. Word is, Ryan flat-out refused to sign off on Leslie Sloan's unhinged subpoena scheme. The one where they tried to drag journalists into Blake's legal mess like it was open MIC night at a PR disaster. He wanted out. Maybe he's got a moral compass. Or maybe just better lawyers. Either way, he bailed. Insiders say the moment Taylor Swift's name was dragged into this circus, when Blake's team allegedly tried to blackmail her into making a public statement or face a decade's worth of leaked texts, that's when Ryan finally snapped. He told friends he was done. Done being the human shield for Blake's imploding world. And honestly, smart move. The Swiftness have ended entire male careers for far less. But wait, it gets worse. Let's talk Hugh Jackman. Once the most beloved man in Hollywood. Now reduced to cryptic Instagram posts and passive-aggressive shade at his ex-wife after a 27-year marriage. It was cringe. It was sad. And guess who allegedly encouraged it? Ding, ding, Ryan Reynolds. Because nothing says supportive friend, like telling your recently divorced buddy to post breakup content online while his marriage is still smoldering. It's giving frat bro energy. It's giving midlife crisis. And it's not a good look.